and welcome everybody to Feature Friday. Hi, my name is Jackie Kwan. I'm co-founder of Uplifter, and as always with me is Garrett Trott, our product expert. How are you doing, Garrett?
I'm good. I'm
Garrett?
struggling with Facebook right now. How are you doing?
Like, wait, there was a pause. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we're hoping that everybody is having a wonderful week, whether you're celebrating Canada Day or perhaps the July 4th weekend, Independence Day in the U.S. So thank you, and thank you for joining us this lovely week, and we're hoping that everybody is staying safe. But today, Garrett is going to be walking through one of our wonderful features in Uplifter called our ticket serialization feature that is very unique to Uplifter and is going to be very useful for any clubs that are looking to find ways of, again, just promoting social distancing and limiting contact. So what you can do with Uplifter is actually create tickets for sale. Hold on, this is the feature you're talking about, right?
No, I'm going on the other, completely other direction.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this is what it is.
I just had this moment of, oh my gosh, did I get it wrong? um, uh, if you want to sell tickets and have each of those tickets have a unique serialized barcode on it so that you can use that instead of actually selling physical tickets for whether you've got competitions or an ice show or an end of year recital or some type of event that you want to sell individual admission to. And you can use tickets for all sorts of other aspects as well. So given that, I'm going to let Garrett walk us through
Wow.
this feature. I'm tripping over my tongue
That's
today. I don't
okay.
know
No
what's
worries.
wrong. So
That's okay. It gives me leeway when I do it too. So, yes, thank you so much, Jackie. Really appreciate that. Today, as Jackie noted, we're going to be taking a look at tickets. So, we are going to begin where the creation begins for tickets, and that is under the admin side of the system, under products and programs, products and subscriptions. And here you can create a ticket just like any other product within your system by selecting the Add New option here in the toolbar. Now, within this section here, you'll want to fill in the product information section, and with the information that you want. Today we're going to be creating a year-end show for our example purposes. So year-end show, for instance, and you'll want to use more descriptive information than what I'm doing right here, year-end show 20. But as you sort of build this information in, you'll want to make sure that this is accurate for your particular use case, especially with the applies to for something like a year-end show. We're going to select by account because we don't want people to create participant profiles when they purchase this ticket. We're going to scroll down to the bottom and fill in the payment information as well. And by filling in these two pieces, we've effectively created a product, but we are going to create a ticket variation on this, which requires us to check this little box off here. When we do, we have some ticket-specific information that we can fill out. First and foremost, the quantity of the tickets. So let's say we have 250 seats available in our venue. And of course, this can vary as much as you want. And if you want to sell tickets essentially endlessly for things like drop-ins or test days, you can absolutely do that and simply just put in 999999999 there. Be a German. 999. But today we're going to put in $200 or 200 available. So next we have this ticket can be redeemed more than once. Now this option allows you to set a ticket to be redeemable more than once, as that name suggests. And what that means is when someone scans this ticket or redeems it, which we'll be looking at in just a moment, they can do so again up to as many times as you mark here. So if I check this box off, I will be able to say how many times this can be redeemed. Now in this particular use case, we're doing a year-end show. We want one ticket per seat, and we don't want them to be able to scan it more than once. So we're going to uncheck that. And next we have only print this ticket if the invoice is paid in full. I'm going to mark this off because I want to be sure that when I'm redeeming a ticket, people have actually paid for that ticket. Next, I do have the ability to redeem this ticket for attendance. In this particular instance, I'm going to say no, but what this essentially allows you to do, whether you're set to allowed or required, is when you scan this ticket, the system will ask you if you want to place them into a program. Now, if you have this set to allowed, you don't have to put them in a program. You can just redeem the ticket and not place them in a program. If you have this set to required, you have to place them into a program in order to redeem the ticket. So that will place them in the program for one particular day, which is a great way to introduce, like I noted there previously, the drop-ins that you may want to offer, although we do have a new full-fledged drop-in feature as well, but this is another way to introduce drop-ins into your system as well. This is also a great way to create invitation tickets. So if you want to have users come and just try out a course for one day and see if it suits them, see if they like what your club offers, this is a great way to introduce that. They can add this ticket to cart, and you can restrict it to one sale only, for instance. They can add this ticket to cart and experience what your club offers and see if it's for them. Next, we have the ticket background image. Now, this is this image here. You can set this up on a per ticket basis by clicking this browse button, or you can go into your site settings and update this for a global element, and then you don't have to do this from ticket by ticket. If you want more information about the image sizes and things like that, you can check out our products, tickets, and subscriptions article. In this article, we have a create ticket section, which then talks about creating the tickets, but there's a learn more section in the ticket background image, which talks about the image sizes and the outcomes of those images. So definitely check that out if you'd like to get a nice, precise, clean image here. So with that said, once you've filled in this information here, you are ready to scroll down to the bottom and click Save. Now I have in advance created this ticket, so I'm just going to exit out of this, and we'll still see this ticket down here, Year-End Show. Now, one of the other tickets that I created was this Check Us Out, and this is actually in the vein of that sort of drop in or come by for one class. This is a build that demonstrates that where there's about 500 tickets, and it requires that I place them into a class. So anytime I scan the ticket, they drop into the class, and we'll see how that works out in just a moment as well when we talk about redeeming tickets. Now, anytime that you sell a ticket, obviously you need to create an invoice. It's like selling anything else on your system. When you are creating an invoice from the public side, or users coming and adding it to their cart and checking out, there's no variances on that compared to buying anything else. From the administrative side, though, there is a small variance. So when you are creating or editing an invoice where tickets are involved, you'll actually have the additional option of editing the ticket and altering the max redemption count. So even if your ticket doesn't necessarily have a multiple redemption option intrinsically, like by default, you can still do that for one or two occasions, and you can make those type of exceptions if you'd like to. So that can be done through the invoice edit page. So next then, we are going to talk about viewing your tickets. So we're about to talk about redemption, but before we do that, this product manager page can offer us a little bit more information than what we've seen thus far. If we'd like to, we can click on this little hand with a little gift, little package there. We can click on this bar, and we can see more information about the tickets. So for instance, this Check Us Out, when I click on this bar, I get this little pop-up that lets me know a few things. First and foremost, who has purchased a ticket and it's still outstanding, and who has purchased a ticket and has been redeemed. From this page, I can also access the invoices directly, and I can also redeem the ticket right from this page, which is quite nice in a lot of circumstances. Additionally, you can see the redeem all outstanding tickets option here. So if you do want to just close off the redemption of all tickets from here on out, you can redeem all these tickets and process them so that they can no longer be redeemed through standard practices. So that, as noted, is accessible through here. And, and one final note, you can also see when they were redeemed as well. So you'll have a full history on this page if you'd like. So now we are ready to begin redeeming our tickets. Now, when it comes to your end user having purchased tickets, they'll be able to access these tickets through their accounts, and then they can print them off, or they can bring them up on their phone for you to be able to redeem them. Let's take a look at that. So here we have Will Webinar, a good friend, and on his account, when we go to the account submenu, we can now see a ticket tab, which is only present when they actually have tickets available. You can see the tickets listed here, and if I wanted to, I can select to print from here, or I can select this print option on, say, my phone and just present the ticket from my phone. One thing about Will, though, is he hasn't paid his invoice in full. So because of this, when I click to print, I actually get this notice that lets me know, or lets the end user know and the administrator know, this person hasn't paid in full. They shouldn't be able to redeem this ticket. However, we do also have Christy Adams, who has also bought some year-end show options, and she has paid in full. And so we see this ticket. Now, every ticket is comprised of a few elements. You've got your title, you've got your description, you'll also have the invoice number for reference, but you'll also have an alphanumeric code presented up here as well as down here that also represents this QR scan code. And so these codes here and here, as well as the QR scan code, are how you can redeem your ticket. Now, redeeming your ticket can be done in a couple of different ways depending on how you want to go about it. We already saw one way where you can just go into this bar here and you can redeem it through the system, but you can also navigate to products and programs, ticket redemption devices. And here you can enable devices to be able to redeem those tickets utilizing their cameras and a QR scanning app. Now, we'll talk about that in just a second, but let's presume that you don't have any devices and you just need to redeem a ticket, and you're not going to do so through the products and subscription page. In that case, you can still come to this page, and as you can see on the toolbar here, you can manually redeem a ticket. Now, I should not have closed that invoice because now I want to redeem a ticket. So what we can do then is we are going to select to manually redeem a ticket, and it's going to bring us to this page here. Now, if we have a little scanny dooley, we can absolutely scan it if we'd like. So if we do happen to have a device like a cell phone, tablet, stuff like that, if we're on one of them right now, we can click scan and we can scan with our QR application. If not, however, we can always utilize the alphanumeric code in order to access this. So what we'd want to do is either find this on behalf of the user, or we can also have the user present the code for us. And we grab that alphanumeric code there, and we pop that in, and we scan. And so now it's letting us know that attendance is required for this event. Now, this is because I've actually scanned the check us out option. So I'll bring the invoice over here. So we have Jill Webinar. She purchased one of the check us out options, and this check us out option had the attendance option set to required. So what that means is in order for me to even proceed with processing this ticket and redeeming it, I need to select an event. So this is the page that you're going to see, whether you're on a tablet, a phone, or on a computer like now. You're going to see this page, and it's going to present primarily the today's events. So you'll see a list of the events that are happening today. Those are prioritized so that you can quickly add them. It's presumed that you're scanning it today for an event today. So you'll have that list here, and you can select that if you'd like and redeem the ticket. If it does actually happen to be for a different event, you can always go to the Search Events tab, and you can search your various events, select the event that it's for, and pick the day and time that they've actually shown up for. So it is just for that one event. And by selecting redeem ticket, whether you've done today's event or search event, they'll actually be applied to the attendance for that one particular event, which is a great way to sort of include them not only in the base programs, but it also includes them in any evaluations that you may be performing, so you can sort of gauge where they're at. So that was from the regular option there. However, we are going to pop over to the ticket redemption again, and we're going to enable a device to be able to do this for us. Now, why you might want to enable the device, well, it might be true to say that your computer doesn't have a QR scanning feature, or maybe you're not on a device right now and you want to be able to give one of your coaches or your instructors the ability to scan these, or maybe, just like our example here, you're running a year-end show and you want your volunteers to be able to scan tickets at the door. So if that's the case, we need to enable a device authorization here. So we're going to select new device authorization. And in this instance, we can enable this. So let's call it year-end show devices. We can also set a validity for their ability to redeem. So I want it today until, you know what, it's only a show over the weekend, so I'm going to do till Monday. And then I get to select what tickets they're able to redeem. So I don't want them to be able to do the check us out. I want the year-end show here, obviously. And last but not least, I get to specify the emails that I want to send out to. Now these emails, so let's say john@email.com. These emails are comma separated if you want to add more than one. So if you want to send out to each of your volunteers, let's do jess@email.com, etc., etc. You add those in comma separated, and when you're happy with that, you click save. What this is going to do is send an email to each one of these users, and inside that email is going to be a link. These users will need to open that email on the device that they intend to use to scan the tickets with. So if their intention is to use their cell phone or their iPads, etc., they'll need to open the email on that device. What will happen then is they'll follow the link within that email, and that will place a cookie on their device. That cookie is the sort of the flag that tells us, yes, this device has been authorized. So when they scan a ticket, we can follow through with the redemption of that ticket. Now, what they'll need to do on their device is they need to download a QR scanning code application. Many devices actually have them built in these days, but if they don't, there are a lot out there for free, so you don't need to pay any money for them. Just check out ones with 5 stars on your store, whether that be the Android store or the iStore, what have you. And once you've downloaded that, you can then use your camera with that app open to scan those QR codes that we saw, this code right here, this box, and that will process the redemption of that ticket almost identically to what we saw with the manual redemption, where it's then going to open up a page and say if it requires them to be attending a program, it'll say what program. If not, it'll just immediately redeem the ticket. And that is tickets. That was very
Can I
fast.
can I get you to create a device authorization, please? Is that okay? Because there's actually one extra step here for some devices that aren't able to click on the link.
Oh, yes,
And
thank you.
yeah, sorry. And the way that that works is, let's say you have, and this is great for if you want to create these sort of device authorizations and laminate them and put them around people's necks so that they don't lose them. So so what you actually receive, and I think you can just click on the print icon. So this is what they'll actually receive in their email. They're going to see a little barcode authorized device authorization code here. And that link there is what they will be able to use in order to authorize their devices. So let's say you don't want to send this by email and you don't want people sort of shuffling around on their devices trying to get that link on their email. What you can do is you can actually print this barcode, put it on a piece of paper, and we've made it so that it works really nicely on the back of like a name tag or something like that. So you can cut it out, put it on the back of the name tag, and if they have their phone device or their mobile device, what they'll just need to do is to make sure to enable their mobile device, they just scan this QR code first, and once they've scanned that QR code, they can then continue to redeem. So it's a nice, easy way to just basically authorize mobile devices without them having to muck about with it, or maybe they don't have email available to them on that device at that point in time. But it's a nice, easy way to keep that attached with the device. If you're using this for like a drop-in pass, a multi-redemption drop-in pass, might be nice to like print this off, have this code laminated, and stick it with the the iPad or the iPhone that you might have at your facility that you're using to actually do the redemptions if you don't want people using their personal devices. And then that way it's sort of kept together, and they can just authorize that device as they need. And because you can actually set the expiry dates of these device authorizations, if you can make it so that it only lasts like a certain amount of time, so that if those tags get lost or whatnot, then they can be deauthorized and then recreated for additional authorizations later on. So lots of clubs using this for ticket redemption, not just for year-end shows and competitions, but as well for drop-in fees and drop-in programs. So lots of different ways to utilize tickets and serialized ticket sales. Garrett, did I cut you off? I'm sorry. Was there something else that you
You
wanted
didn't
to
cut
add?
me off. No, that's perfect. That's the last thing that I had on my list too. So that's fantastic. I was probably not going to get to that, even though it's on my list. So that's good that you got that. Thank you.
No problem. So thank you everybody for joining us on Feature Friday here today. Next week we will be here again, and we've hopefully we'll be showing something very valid to a new feature that we're going to be launching very shortly. We're
Maybe.
just finishing we're just finishing up some last minute testing, and so as long as our testing goes well next week, I would like to actually show everybody that new feature that we will be launching very, very shortly to help out all the clubs, especially during COVID. But if not, we might have some other plans.
Yeah, if not, we'll be looking at other stuff. So join us anyways.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I'll just tell them I really want to show them policies. I really
Yeah.
want to show them the new policies feature. And we're so close. We're so close. So hopefully we'll be talking about the new policies feature and giving you sort of an end-to-end run through on how to implement that for your clubs and how to utilize that in terms of managing elements like COVID self-assessments and all the rest. So again, thank you for joining us, everybody. And we hope if you are celebrating a lovely long weekend this weekend, please have a lovely long weekend and stay safe. And we will see everybody next week.
Thank you. Take care.